Hello, I'm Paul.
My name is Ivy.
I grew up in a non-Christian household. Both of my parents were pretty against religion. And so growing up, I was very invested in my education, go to college, get a good degree in order to get a good job, and basically live life like that. But going into college, I was looking for a group of friends in order to kind of create a social circle. And I ended up meeting Christians. There was a group of Christians on campus who were all part of a club, and they all believed in the Lord, and they brought me in, and I actually began to really enjoy just spending time with them. And through that time and experience with them, I was led to believe into the Lord, and then I was baptized. I was studying bioengineering, and I double majored in bioengineering and computer science at UC Berkeley. I really enjoy combining kind of knowledge from bioengineering and computer science together. I was interested in going into some sort of medical hybrid computer science field. And after graduating, I actually started working at a biotech startup, and I did computer science for this startup.
As for me, I grew up in Davis, California, in a family full of Christians, so I naturally also grew up as a Christian myself. So after I graduated from college, I took a job in the Bay Area in San Jose. After working in the Bay Area for a few years, you realize that life actually gets really repetitive. A lot of people, the tech bros, the people who are working in engineering, they just go to their job, go home, eat, sleep, wake up, repeat, It's a very cyclical kind of life. I didn't know what the meaning of my life was if I was just gonna work and sleep every day. There was a kind of a feeling of emptiness, I was longing for something more than just working. And so I was really glad I found a young adult group to join when I was working. I joined this group called In the Stream, as well as I attended church meetings with the church in San Jose. I felt like I found a community, as well as a group of people that I can be joined with who love the Lord, who enjoy the Lord, and like being with one another. And so this was just such an amazing community to be a part of. That really kept me going while I was working. My life was not just work. I don't live to go to work, but I live for the Lord and to be with the brothers and sisters in the church. As I was working, I realized, the emptiness of the world, but also I realized how busy your schedule can get, right? Like as a person who's working, you have to work at least 40 hours a week. And how much time does that give you to really spend time, reading the Bible, to get into like different Christian readings, to spend time with brothers and sisters, to preach the gospel to all the nations, I felt like my Christian experience was so limited by time.
In the normal day-to-day life, living as a Christian, it can be super easy to just think that what we currently have or what we're currently doing is good enough. And for example, when we were in San Jose, it was really enjoyable to spend time with the believers, going to Christian gatherings, singing together, enjoying the Lord together, even fellowshipping together. But even in these pursuits, I really came to the Lord to speak with Him. Is this something that I would be proud of when I see the Lord in eternity future? That I spent enough time to really give it to Him. I felt that it wasn't enough. In the Old Testament, we see this picture of the Lord needing to train His people. His people needed to be trained up in order to be ready to serve Him, in order to take the good land, the land of Canaan. That is to possess all the riches of Christ. And I felt like in my little time that I had before work, on the way to work, in the commute, and after work, I wasn't really being able to fully give my time to the Lord. And even I didn't really know how. I didn't have the tools or the know-how in order to actually pursue the Lord in an effective way. The training allows you and encourages you to really use your spirit moment by moment. Learning to turn to the Lord every moment of the day. And I feel like it's been so valuable, even in the few 12 weeks that we've been here at the training. I feel like I've grown so much in my spiritual capacity, my ability to just turn to my spirit and contact the Lord. It makes serving the Lord so much easier, and it makes my faith in the Lord so much stronger. So I really appreciate that the training exists, and that the Lord really encouraged me to go to the training. There's a way in order to really strengthen our Christian life.
Yeah, in terms of working, I feel like we will be working for the rest of our lives, maybe after you graduate from the training, you'll go back to work. We'll just be working for 20, 30, 40 years. But, we need to spend our precious years as young people for the Lord, and this is the best way to spend it. Getting into the Word, learning to be in our spirit, like Paul said, always one with the Lord in our spirit, to touch the Lord every day, every moment, and also to learn how to serve with the saints. Right now we're on the team for USC, and we're just helping out with campus ministry there. But we've learned so much about how to preach the gospel, to talk to other people about Christianity. It's been such a great experience, and you don't want to miss out on this experience. You have so many years to work. Why not spend your precious years here enjoying the Lord at this program?
The Lord says that we'll be fed, watered, clothed. He specifically says to seek first His kingdom, and all these things will be added to you. And in my consideration to go to the training, the Lord really spoke to me that I needed to go, and I needed to find a way to go. But my parents was a big obstacle for me to go. I wanted to convince my parents about me going to this Bible program, but they were not believers. They're not Christian, and actually they were kind of against going to this Bible program because it takes 2 years. When I could be working, building up some finances, which could go to a house, which can then lead to like a happy life, effectively. But I really saw the need, and I really wanted to communicate this need to them. But since they weren't believers and they were really not open to believe, I just kept praying to the Lord. I knew the Lord had called me, and so in my prayer to Him, He really spoke that He would really work this out. Even though it felt impossible, I had the full assurance that since the Lord had called me, then the Lord would be able to work it out. And so I kept going back to my family home, which was a couple hours away from San Jose where I was working. And I kept coming back to them just to speak with them, just to see how they were doing, to catch up with them and my family, my siblings. And whenever the topic would come up about what I planned to do next in my life, I would mention the training, and they wouldn't be open. But slowly, after the course of many months, actually a year and a half, they slowly opened up more and more, and they warmed to the idea of me going to the training. And so the Lord was really faithful to fulfill His promise in calling me, and He actually opened the door that my parents would totally agree with me going to the training. And so the Lord is faithful to His calling, and even if there's a situation that seems impossible, just open it to the Lord, and the Lord will make the way open. Yeah, so in considering going to the training, I really think it's important to bring it to the Lord in your personal prayer, and the Lord will be faithful to speak something, whether it's His timing to go now or go later, whether or not to go. Continue to bring it to the Lord in prayer, and even consider your situation with the Lord. Does the Lord touch you about your ability to serve, your ability to function in the church meetings, in the church gatherings.
The Lord really needs to train all of us. No matter what stage we're in, where we're at, I feel like we can all go on. We can all go higher. We can all go deeper. We can all go, there's always more there. I would recommend that you all consider going to the full-time training in Anaheim. It's just such a wonderful experience.
One thing we've been learning in the training is that prayer doesn't necessarily mean that we come to the Lord expecting something from Him, but rather we come to the Lord to be with Him and to just speak with Him. And actually, this is very applicable to how I prayed to go to the training, in that I just opened to the Lord about my situation. And the Lord is faithful to speak what He wants to speak to us and impart His burden for us to go if He desires us to go. The Lord is faithful to both open the doors and to call, as long as we're open to receive what He wants to speak to us. So I think it's really important to just come to the Lord with an open heart and just come to enjoy His presence, and then be open to what He wants to speak to us.
May the Lord be with you all. Hope to see you soon.